Jasmy is moving in a sideways range for around 2 months now. This might hold true for Bitcoin and most other altcoins as well, but there is not really a sideways range, but price consecutively going down and forming lower lows. And Jasmy seems to be strong enough to withstand this. Now the question is, when will it get interesting again? When will we break out of the sideways range? Are there early signs yet that could show us? We will have a look at that in this video using on-chain analytics and technical analysis. So without any further ado, let's go. Welcome back to another episode of Phil Prince, your one and only stop for crypto finance and trading. Now, Jasmy Coin is really one of those interesting projects. Not too many people know it. It's not that super shiny object. It's been around for some time. It has real utility, and they're pretty much keeping it under the radar. And that is because Jasmy is a pretty local project. It is based in Japan. It's even built as Japan's Bitcoin, and they're mostly active in the IoT sector and are working with big Japanese enterprises, for example, Toyota. Now, as I've already did an in-depth review of Jasmy Coin, I'll leave you a link right here if you're interested. But in this video, we will get into the nitty and gritty part of analyzing the current price action. As you can see here, this is basically a picture perfect sideways range. And as I teased, most of the altcoins have downwards channel like this. So something is holding price up. We don't have any lower lows. Maybe the Japanese enterprises know more than we do, but let's see what we can find out. We'll get back to the chart later on, but first have a look at on-chain analytics. Well, the first thing we're going to look at is new wallets and transaction activity. This can already tell us a lot. As you can see in the last days, and all of this chart is the last 30 days, we're going down. And this means there are less and less new wallets created per day. And new wallets means new market participants entering the market, creating new wallets for storing new Jasmy Coin. So judging by this, there's no new market participants. Same goes for the transaction activity. It's pretty shallow. We only have some spikes here and there. Still, these can indicate when we have a local top or bottom. So for example, if we take a look at May 5th, May 1st, April 28th, 26th, and 21st, then you will see, well, this is here, here, and here. Oh, and I forgot here. So as you can see, most of the time this is pretty significant. This here was basically a false signal. That happens. The move was pretty shallow because we got downwards continuation. Therefore, we're always looking for confluence, for example, using technical analysis. Now, not so many new wallets, pretty shallow transaction activity in the last days, also over the course of the last month. What are holders of Jasmy Coin, at least on-chain, meaning not what coins bought on centralized exchanges do? On the one hand side, we have plankton wallets, meaning retail or small holders. And on the right hand side, we have whale wallets, meaning very big holders. With price currently sitting at $0.018, this means that plankton wallets have a minimum value of $180 approximately, and the whale wallets have a minimum value of $180,000. And obviously there are way less whale wallets than plankton wallets, meaning around 57 whale wallets at the moment and 11,387 plankton wallets. Where it gets interesting is when we compare these two, because this tells us if it's more likely that the market is retail driven or whale driven. And now it gets pretty interesting. As you can see here, this was September 23rd, 2023. And there's basically no meaningful increase since then. If we zoom out on the chart, this point in time is here. So retail didn't increase from this point to this current point, but price did increase pretty significantly. More specifically, to the top, 730%. So more than an 8x, right? So it doesn't seem like Jasmy is retail driven. Now, when we have a look at the whale wallets and pick the same date, so September 23rd, this looks pretty much the same way. No meaningful ups and downs. Actually, the plankton wallet chart went a little bit up and the whale wallet chart went up a little bit down. This is also pretty normal. Whales are selling into retail. But if plankton wallets as well as whale wallets are pretty much staying flat, where does the money come from? I mean, once again, price 8x. Well, we can't know for sure, but it seems then comes mostly from centralized exchanges, because as you can see here, 25% of the volume of Jasmy Coin is traded on Binance, 13% on Coinbase, another 13% on Gate.io, and so on. And as Jasmy is pretty much an enterprise project working with big enterprises in Japan, as I said, these get their Jasmy Coin most likely from centralized exchanges. And these then are most likely also the ones driving price in the last months. This actually doesn't happen too often. Most of the time you have either plankton wallets or whale wallets going up with price, which then shows where the price action is coming from. But this one's a real black box. On the hourly chart over the last 30 days, it's pretty much the same. This move here from Plankton wallets is insignificant. As you can see here at the top, it's 11,400 wallets, and at the bottom here, it's 11,360 wallets. And for whales, it's obviously a flat line. Another thing that's interesting is if we have a look at some statistics, we can see that the top 100 wallets, and a lot of them belong to exchanges, bought Jasmy Coin on chain, meaning using a decentralized exchange. Because we can see here, only about 15% of these top 100 wallets have no DEX decentralized exchange buys. For me, this indicates that they're mostly holding. They're not playing pump and dump games as we see it with Teller TRB, which is pretty obvious there. I analyzed this in my last video. By the way, I uploaded this video yesterday, and this was when price of TRB was sitting at $93. And I told you, if we hold this white line, we will most likely pump further. And now less than a day later, we're actually up 62% if you followed along. So this should be your sign to subscribe right now and don't miss out on my next videos. I am giving you these kind of signals all the time. I gave you Ondo super early when no one was talking about it. This is now one of the biggest RWA projects. I gave you Jupiter super early, the biggest DEX aggregator of Solana, and there are a lot of more examples when you take a look at my older videos. But now let's have a look at Jasmy Coin through the lens of technical analysis. But before that, please make sure to enter my Telegram group, which comes with one of my trading indicators and a 1-hour trading course that explains it and helps you to build your own strategy for free. I want my community to thrive. Secure your spot while it's still free. This may change for new members in the future. Link is down below. Now, I want to make this really simple. As you can see here, the Phil Prince reversal bands perfectly mark tops and bottoms in the sideways range. Therefore, if you know how to trade them, sideways ranges can be a blessing. Also, these are big price swings, 30% up and down. And it starts to get a real sideways range when these midlines here are not really respected anymore. Now, our chance to leave the sideways range, preferably to the upside, is when this retest here on the blue line is holding. Because this would mean that we're not retesting the lows again and bulls come in earlier to pump up price. And as the point of control based on the volume profile is here, so where this red line is, this would mean a consolidation that is more narrow. And the more often we are touching this here, the more likely is a break up. Of course, the final boss is still these highs, but as you can see, the volume profile here is pretty much empty. So as soon as price closes above this red line here, price will easily slide at least up here. And as soon as this happens, if market alongside this is acting bullish, then this will be a pretty easy breakout, even further to the upside. So all eyes on this red line, this is important. And if we manage to break up earlier than most of the times before in the sideways range. What's important as well, and for this we will zoom out a little, I often talk about price chart of different crypto projects having their own DNA, judging by their price action. And what we can see for Jasmy is we have very slow movement, sideways ranges, and then harsh reactions to the up and also to the downside. And this could mean that the break out of this sideways range could happen very fast from one day to the other day. This makes it a little harder to time, but the best strategy for these kind of scenarios is to slowly DCA in, of course, in these sideways ranges. It's beautiful, especially if we are at the lower end of the sideways range. And then you are prepared for such a scenario if it breaks up violently. Now, if you ask yourself, where could the next big pump take us? Of course, I have an answer for you. If we measure this move here, you can see that this big pump took us to the 0.618 and nearly to the 3.618. So if we measure the top and bottom from the sideways range, you can see that the first big pump would actually take us to the 1.618 first. Here it might chop a little and take us to the 2.618 then. This from current prices is 127% and 300% respectively. If we in fact see the 3.618 of this move, this would be 600%. So I'm not saying this will be the macro bull market top. This will just be the next price targets in my opinion. For the bull market top, have a look at my Jasmy in-depth review that I've linked at the beginning of my video. If you haven't subscribed to this channel yet, please ask yourself why and do it now. You really don't want to miss any of the next videos. You don't want to miss my calls that could make you a lot of money. Still, of course, none of this was financial advice. This was Phil Prince for you. Until next time, crush the markets. Goodbye.